versus old media.
Some of these asinine-ass statements y'all be making, that's why I speak of the new media. For those of you that don't know what the new media is, let me explain to you what the new media is. The new media is not athletes doing media. We've been doing that. If you know the game of basketball, basketball will give you enough to talk about. The problem is, all of these people talking about basketball that don't know basketball. And so what do? You chase controversy. The new media, we don't do that.
Draymond Green, after the Golden State Warriors won the NBA championship, and a lot of this is old news, but I just want to talk about it. But he went on this little rant after they won the championship or whatever, talking about the old media and how they guys are, he had a lot of negative stuff to say. And I'm not going to try to repeat the stuff he said, but he had a lot of negative stuff to say because people, quote unquote, counted them out of winning a championship. And he had a lot of stuff to say. And he wants people to keep the same energy and don't come and try to congratulate him. And it's a lot of just immature behavior, in my opinion, that he's spewing out. But he's charging up the new media versus the old media. And when he's talking about the old media, and it seemed like the people at First Take are targeted. You know, and he specifically called out Kendrick Perkins in that regard. Man, listen. I get what he considered new media, but is it new media or just modern media? I would like to say the word modern because everybody, everybody does it their own way. You know, just because Draymond has his own Draymond Green podcast show that he does, and he does it his way, that don't mean that everybody's going to follow suit or everybody agrees with you as far as this notion with the quote unquote new media. I get sometimes these athletes get in their feelings when these TV analysts come at their head and give their opinions about them. And even some of it make me cringe a little bit. And I think some of it can be a little distasteful at times. But at the end of the day, these guys are paid a check to give their opinion about somebody who's getting paid millions of dollars to put a ball in a basket or to run a ball from goal to goal or whatever sport you play. And that's there. It's all entertainment. It's fun to hear people give their opinion. But the realistic part, like we in the world, everybody ain't gonna like everything you do. Athlete, particularly Draymond Green and all the other players out there who getting their feelings when somebody have their opinion about them. Everybody not gonna like you. And then you're getting paid millions of dollars, tough it up. I know that's kind of seeming insensitive, and I do feel some of the athletes, because like I say, some of the times I do side with them, depending on the comment. But even with certain people getting out of bounds and saying crazy things about some of these athletes, I still think that there's a part to where these players need to just toughen up and have a thicker chin to take it. But one of the things that Draymond said, and it stood out to me about, he's made a comment saying that the problem with the new media is that they don't really know the sport because they haven't played the sport. And they have to find controversy to fill gaps because they really don't know the sport. But if you know the sport, there's a lot to talk about other than finding controversy. And I'm paraphrasing what he said, but that's on the lines of what he said. And it stood out to me because I more than agree with that statement. I love how he said it and I love how he put it. But then within the same breath, he turns around and called Kendrick Perkins a coon, thus creating controversy. So it's like, Draymond, I get what you were trying to say, and you said it right. Yeah, there are more stuff to talk about the sports. You don't have to go out there and find controversy, but then you started some on your own. And it started a war, and there's a lot of back and forth, and there's a lot of people clicking in views and stuff like that. It was a clickbait moment for the whole social media world, and I get it. But, you can't make a statement like that, and then you fall right back into the acting like the person who you're trying to take down, whatever. But y'all, everybody in what they consider the old media, I like what First Take is doing. I like Around the Horn, Pardon the Interruption, all those different shows. I like them, not just with basketball, but even with the NFL guys and TNT guys, man. I like everything that they do. I like to hear their opinions. I'm a grown man. I don't need somebody else to formulate an opinion for me. I love to hear everybody else's views, but I also have my own. That's the reason why I got a podcast. But when I look at podcasts like I Am Athlete, Pivot, Up in Smoke, all the Smoke, these different podcasts, And I like, even the Draymond Green show, I like listening to the podcast because I love hearing it I love watching the players and their guests create their own storyline. Like, they control the narrative. They have the guests on, they let people tell their story, you know? But everybody talks about Kwame Brown. And when he was in the league, wasn't nobody else abused more than Kwame Brown. He's not a player in the league. You know what I'm saying? And he kept him quiet. He didn't have a lot to say. This man got drafted by Jordan, and he get talked bad about Jordan. And Jordan just destroyed him. And then he turned around and had to go play with Kobe Bryant, and we saw how that thing panned out. And then the man just, he made his money, and he silently left out. While he was playing, he kept his hush-hush. He didn't let it bother him. He let it roll off the chin. You can tell that his confidence was shook out there, even in the Big Three. Don't know if he really cared or whatever, but that's just the way he was. And you hear these other players now who are actually good players, Hall of Fame players, and they can't take somebody saying one little thing about them. It's like, y'all, that's crazy, man. But anyway, that's my 2 cents about it. These players need to toughen up a little bit. But at the same time, journalists, analysts, commentators, let's be a little bit PG-ish in our comments, I should say. That's your boy C22, and that's my 2 cents on that, and I'm out.